like to call this meeting to order, the Madison Fire District. It's our regular meeting of September 20th, 2023 at 7 o'clock p.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Adams. Mr. Anderson.
Here.
Mr. Donaldson.
Here.
Mr. Gauntner.
Here.
Mr. Lee.
Here.
Mr. Wayman.
Here.
All right, would all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to modify the agenda a little bit. I guess that's my prerogative as the chairman. I've been so told. Tonight, we have a very special guest here, who's not a stranger to this room by no means, but all the same, he's a special guest. And that is retired Chief Todd Baker. It's great to see you again, Todd. We haven't seen you in a while, and I really appreciate you coming tonight. And we have a little bit of housekeeping we want to take care of here tonight, so I'm going to start through this, and I'm going to move up the resolutions a little bit. And I have resolution 23-23, which is kind of unusual. And I'm going to read that if I could. It's a resolution recognizing Todd Baker for his years of service to the Madison Fire District. Whereas Todd Baker served the Madison Fire District since the time of his hire on February 21st, 1989, he began as a volunteer member, became a part-time firefighter in December 1989, has been a full-time member of the department since June 28, 1998. He's promoted to lieutenant in 2005 and ultimately assumed the role as fire chief on June 21st, 2017. During his service to Madison, he obtained paramedic, EMS, fire safety inspector, and fire instructor certifications. His last shift was completed on July 21st, 2023. Whereas during his service, Todd was a valued member of the Madison Fire Service, and whereas Todd Baker has been instrumental in providing the best possible fire and EMS service to the community served by the Madison Fire District. And now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Madison Fire District, County of Lake, State of Ohio. Section 1, the board expresses to Todd Baker on its behalf and on the behalf of the entire community its appreciation for his 34-plus years of service, dedication, and tireless efforts to help those in need, and it wishes him all the best in his retirement and his future endeavors. Section 2, it is found and determined that all formal action of this board concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this board, and that all deliberations of the board and any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. With that, I'd like a motion to adopt resolution 2323.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr.
Second.
Anderson and a second by Mr. Lee. Any comments?
It's done an outstanding job. You brought a lot to this community and the residents and taxpayers, everybody. And you're well thought of, and you're going to be missed. Good luck for your future, whatever you have in mind.
Mr. Wayman?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, Todd, you came in to become chief at a very good time for this department. You pulled us out of a little bit of a trouble that we were in, and you made this department a very solvent department. And your hard work and dedication to your job really proved what the type of person you are, and we really appreciate that.
Anybody else? Mr. Lee? Did you have anything you want to say?
Oh, the chief was probably the finest chief we've had in a number of decades. And your people are your legacy. You got good people under you. They succeeded, and consequently, you were a superb chief. And we thank you for all your efforts. Even with Justin, you know, he's got big shoes to fill.
A little tight. Thank you, Bob. Anybody else?
Just It was a pleasure working with you, and you were obviously a great leader for the department, but you were also a great leader for this board as well. I never really felt misinformed, and, I came on right just a couple months before we hired you on, so it was an interesting time, and I've always appreciated your forwardness and assertiveness and letting us, just keeping us on the straight and narrow and keeping us informed. Appreciate it.
Lastly, Todd, I want to thank you as well. Everybody has really touched on everything, and you were, you saved this community a lot of money during your time as chief. You came up with some very innovative ideas. We did some things that nobody else has ever done that I credit you with, and I can't tell you how much you're going to be missed, and have been missed already. But not only that, but I think you and I developed a friendship over those couple of years that I really cherish. We sometimes talk about fire district stuff, and other times we just talked about life in general. And I couldn't have been more proud of you back a couple months ago when we had to go into the county commissioner's office and talk about the Ford Road Bridge. And a problem we're still dealing with that they still haven't solved. But I thought you represented the fire district in those 2 meetings you were at very well. And I know you got under the skin of a couple people who deserve to have their skin get under. And you did an excellent job representing us. And I had people say to me afterwards that your chief is really one smart guy. And I said, that's why he's the chief. So thank you, Todd, for everything. I appreciate it.
I gotta tell you, I got a letter from Fletchnik asking for contributions to his campaign.
Oh, yeah? Not surprised.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I got something for you from him in a minute here, so it's really kind of interesting. But with that, if no one has anything else to add, I do need a roll call vote on Resolution 2323.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
All right, Todd, there's more to come here, so I'm going to come up here. If you want to come up, I'm going to present you with this resolution and a couple other things.
You know, this is why they were the last one.
I know, but you promised me you're going to be here.
You're gonna love one of them.
So, yeah. So, with this, I'm going to give you this. This is from the board. Sure. And you can hang that up on your, wherever. Hopefully you don't have to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They don't count for anything.
You can set that one down and then you can come back up here, Todd.
You're not leaving just yet. Get on up there.
Also, and I found this one interesting too, because you've had some discussion with this gentleman. I have from the Ohio General Assembly, the House of Representatives, a certificate honoring you on behalf of Jamie Callender, who is the state representative for the 57th district that covers us. And so from
Familiar with Mr. Campbell?
yeah, I know you are. So that's from him. And I think you can also hang that wherever you want to hang that.
It's one from Serena's?
I don't think we got one from him. Okay. We didn't like your emails. We also have one from this one is nice. This is from the Ohio Department of Commerce Division of State Fire Marshal, from Kevin Reardon, the State Fire Marshal. And again, in recognition of your 34 years of selfless giving and dedication to the Madison Fire District. And this is from the State Fire Marshal's office, so I'll give that to you. And we also have one from Lake County Board of Commissioners. You must have touched their heart because. Okay, yeah, well, we'll get the camera in a minute. You can buzz for that. This is from the Board of Commissioners, and they extend their sincere gratitude to Chief Todd A. Baker for distinguished service for the Madison Fire Department. And it's dated July 31st of 2023, which is well after you spoke to them. So. And it's signed by Commissioner John Fletchnik. So, again, to the county commissioners. And, but I really did say best for last. And this one is actually as you embark on this next chapter of life. I encourage you to seek out opportunities to continue serving our great nation. Sincerely, Joe Biden. Give you that, but along with that, Todd, we had to give you this picture, so you can add that to the wall in your house as well. Anybody have darts? So, that's not, you can put that in, but that is from President Biden himself. And, so, again, thank you, Todd. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Enjoy Uncle Joe.
Yeah, get a frame for that.
I missed you.
Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. You're gonna have to start a wall of fame somewhere in your house now, or bathroom, or wherever you may want to start it. Yes. Okay, with that, we will get back, I will get back on task with the agenda, and we have the approval of the minutes of the August 16th, 2023 meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
You have that motion?
Motion by Mr. Lee. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Anderson. Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Waitman.
Yes.
Okay, next we have bills and payroll. We have bills in the amount of $80,835.77. Tax collection fee of $8,091.09. And payroll in the amount of $215,054.01. For a total bills and payroll of $303,980.87. Do I have a motion for the bills and payroll?
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the bills and payroll.
A motion by Mr. Wayman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Donaldson. Any discussion or anything you want to point out, Joanne?
No, the expenditures had the new chase vehicle in there, 41,000.
Okay. Anything else of note? With the tax collection fee, that was
The property tax,
for the stormwater, I assume, yes?
for the collecting all of our money,
Yeah.
collecting our taxes.
Oh, okay. Oh, for the levy collection. Okay, okay. No one has any other questions for Joanne? I will ask for a roll call.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Waitman.
Yes.
Okay, we will move on to the August 2023 financial report. Joanne?
Sure, we started August with $6,669,966.88. Our month-to-date revenue was $1,239,975.90. Our year-to-date revenue was $4,522,161.17. Our month-to-date expenditures was $345,896.51. The reason it's different than the bills and that we just approved was because we had to transfer money in to cover the payouts for retirement. Our year-to-date expenditures is $2,931,955.19. We started September with $7,564,046.34. And I know Mr. Donaldson asked about, once we paid out our capital, what it would be, which was the capital for the fire trucks and radios. If we paid those today, we'd be left with $6,831,569.06.
Okay. Any questions for Joanne on the financial report?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
I believe the firemen would like to be excused,
Oh,
if that's okay.
sure.
They didn't want to be rude and just get up.
Well, if you guys want to.
They want to have, they got a cake to have with.
Well,
Todd.
absolutely, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
More than welcome.
You're more than welcome.
Yep.
And
I thought you just wanted to sit here
we don't
full
want to
time
bore,
today.
we don't want to bore you guys.
You're out.
Thank you, Todd. Really? Good job. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys, for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you. If I'd have known there was cake, I'd have got up and left myself. Okay.
They said that I can go back and get some for anybody that likes.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, we might have to do that. Thank you for letting me know that,
That's
Lori.
what the executive said.
Okay. next we have the, well, we did have the opening public portion, but they all just left. So I guess we have no public unless there's somebody, on the
Internet?
internet. I don't know that there is. No. Okay. Just Terry, I think Terry's there, that's it, right? Yep. Okay. With that, we will then move into legal counsel. Mrs. Dane, do you have anything for us?
No, I did prepare a couple of resolutions, one at the request of Chief Meister and the other one to authorize finality of the settlement of the VSSR claim. The other thing I just want to point out on the agenda, we're scheduled to have an executive session this evening to discuss personnel compensation. The section of the revised code that's relevant is ORC 121.22G1 for that specific purpose, not
Gotcha.
G3.
Okay, I will make sure I note that. Thank you.
Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Dane.
Mhm.
With that, we'll move into old business. Does anybody have any old business they'd like to bring up at this time? Okay, with that, we move into new business. We've already done Resolution 2323 and presented retired Chief Baker with the proclamation. So we move into Resolution 2324. Mrs. Dame, do you want to read that?
It's resolution number 23-24, a resolution authorizing the chief of the Madison Fire District to purchase a Chase vehicle lighting package for the newly acquired Chase vehicle from Northeastern Communications in an amount not to exceed $13,800.90 and authorizing payments provided therein. In the resolution, there is referenced an exhibit, and that's the quote that we received from Northeastern Communications.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2324?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
A motion by Mr. Wayman. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Anderson. Under discussion, is there any discussions or anything you want to add, Chief Meister?
No, not really. The officers did a nice job. You know, we purchased this Chase vehicle last month with the intention of, obviously, we need to outfit it with safety gear and sirens and lights and everything. And as you know, that things aren't as cheap as they once was before COVID, so we had a little sticker shock as well, but we got several quotes, and this was one of the lower ones, and we thought with the package we were looking for was a good fit for us. And it's a local company as well, out of Ashtabula, so the officers made a recommendation to go with Northeastern.
Okay. And we have enough money budgetarily to cover the package?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, it looked like it. Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Chief. With that, if there's no other questions, I need a roll call.
Mr. Donaldson?
Yes.
Mr. Wayman?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Gontner?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Okay, next we have Resolution 2325, authorization to settle pending VSSR claim. Mrs. Dame, you want to read that as well?
Yes, resolution number 23-25. This is a resolution authorizing and ratifying acceptance and execution of documents by the chairman of the Madison Fire District Board of Trustees necessary to settle a pending claim with the Ohio Industrial Commission for violation of specific safety requirement, VSSR, upon terms and conditions accepted by the injured worker and the Ohio Industrial Commission, and authorizing the fiscal officer to make payments as outlined in the approved claim settlement documents.
Okay, do I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2325?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Donaldson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Lee. Any discussion? I think we pretty much, this is what we discussed last month in our exec session, so.
Correct, and it's my understanding that the Ohio Industrial Commission has approved the settlement, so as soon as we authorize it, then we can send the check and it would be completed.
We'll be done with this finally.
Correct.
Great. Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Wayman?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Gontner?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson?
Yes.
Okay, next we have Resolution 2326, authorizing to amend reappropriations. I assume this is yours, Joanne?
Right. This is resolution number 23-26, is a resolution approving and amending permanent appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the Madison Fire District, Lake County, Ohio, during the period ending December 31st, 2023. And this is the reason we're amending this for the VSSR.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt resolution 2326?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Mr. Anderson. Do I have a second?
I'll
Second.
second it.
Second by Mr. Lee. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gauntner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Okay, does anybody have anything else under new business? Seeing none, we'll move on to Chief Meister. Chief, you got the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll start off as far as retired Chief Baker and his legacy. We're still using the same board report that's been going on for the last several years, so far so good. I'd like to celebrate the anniversaries. She was here tonight. Firefighter Erin Tennant has 8 years. Firefighter Jesse Sopko has been here 7 years. Firefighter Joe Ramasher has 6 years, and firefighter Corey Baker has 5 years. If you look at the financial report, we've collected over 100% of our budgeted revenue for the year, 104.4 to be exact. We had a lump sum come in, I believe, was it last month, Joanne? The balance of that. EMS revenue is 73.2. We're on pace to do a little bit higher than what we projected for the budget this year. Of course, we'll have to readjust that too in the fall here for next year, which is good. Staffing overview. It's been fluid, continue to require a lot of overtime due to vacations, recent injury, a recent surgery. So we have some new hires in the works here. We have 4 that we're trying to onboard right now, and they're various steps of our process. Hopefully, I think today I got an email that someone is on the calendar for training, so that's good. Hopefully, that'll take care of some of the overtime at some point here in the near future. The vacations are starting to end, so our schedules should start to level out. We do have a lot of openings. The officers talked a couple weeks ago at the meeting, and we're looking to do the promotional and then the full-time test as well. So we can, like we talked about with me coming off shift in January, there's going to be some backfill, and we do currently have an open full-time position that we're hopefully going to get going as well later this fall. Call volume, it continues to go up. Mr. Lee visited me after last month's meeting and made a recommendation to the graph, which I completely agreed with. This kind of shows the year-to-date for each previous year. So these are the numbers through August 31st of all the years prior to this year. So you can get kind of an apples-to-apples look at how we're trending. And you can see that last year we were at 2419, and now we're at 2478 through August 31st. So, you know, it's no secret to us. We are getting busier. Our first goal is to kind of fill the schedule out, and then at some point we'll have to talk about, you know, the staff at some point for next year as well to augment that. So it is ongoing. The new urgent care is opening up. The last date I heard, we visited there, did a walkthrough a couple weeks ago, was October 3rd. And again, Captain Sopko's on. I know that they've been calling for some inspections in the coming days here, so that's going on. So stay tuned for that. Fire inspections are ongoing. Should be in the board report. Vehicles, we do have the new 2132, which was the ambulance we purchased last month. That's in service and doing very well for us. The new engine is still due around December, and if Captain Sopko has anything else to add, the dates keep kind of changing with the build, but they did visit the Michigan factory where it's getting done, and caught a couple of paint, I believe some paint stuff that they're finishing up, but so that's coming in December. The new chase vehicle's here. Again, you guys just approved the lights package and sirens package, so we'll get that going later this week, and we'll see when that's going to get put in service. Buildings, as you know, you guys approved, I believe it was $25,000 for the gym at Station 2. We went from the planning phase into the build phase. However, with calls and the staffing being a little bit shorter than we're used to, it's going slow, but they do have a wall up. We do have a lot of cleaning going on, so everything's been moved out. So I've been talking to Captain Henry and Lieutenant Sample, and they're trying to facilitate with the shift to get things moving a little bit faster. But again, the community calls, we have to kind of drop and go, so it's a slow go right now, but we'll get there. The officer's recommendation, again, with the move ahead with some full-time testing. I did send you the email with some of the update stuff that we have going on, and also the officer promotion process. Part-time applicants we got in the works. We did do a new Google form for the website, which seemed to work out well. It's kind of removing some obstacles. I believe I mentioned it last board meeting too, where they can go on, they hop on, and it's for the tech-savvy people. It's really easy to, put their information in, attach any resumes, and it goes, basically comes to Lieutenant Fallhammer, Lieutenant Sample, and we can basically call them almost immediately once we get it. So that's a nice extra feature we added to the website. Reporting system. I believe I mentioned it last board meeting as well. We had a target for 10/1 to kind of make a decision. The state has a bunch of vendors that they approved. We currently use Emergency Reporting System, or ERS, which is going to become obsolete, I believe, by the end of next year. So ESO had bought them. Seems like everybody's buying everybody in these records management systems. So the officer group looked at Sanzio, which is what we use for the EMS runs, which is a majority of what we do. So they're building kind of an inspection and NIFR side of it for the state reporting to be compliant when we send those down every month, which is, as long as we stay with the med control that we have, which is university hospitals, in particular over at Geneva, that is basically included with, as long as we stay with them, we have no extra cost, which with the ESO, when Chief Baker was here, he got a quote from the ESO group. For next year, it was going to be $5,000, and then the subsequent year in I believe it was 25 or 26, it was going to be $12,000. I'm sorry, $7,000 for a total of $12,000. So if we stay with Sanzio and it's a workable system, especially on the inspection side of it, the officer group kind of was okay with staying with Sanzio. They're still working on some of the inner workings of the program, but it looks very usable, so we'll stay tuned with that. We'll probably talk about that more as we go the next couple of weeks. And then the ARPA retention grant, I emailed, I believe his name's Adam Van Dyne, down at the state. We did get that $70-some thousand in ARPA money for the retention for all the folks here. It's still being gone through their legal, I believe. We're going to eventually get a contract from them that we'll have to work through, and probably, I believe, at some point a resolution, and then we can hopefully cut checks and get those going. Some of the folks here thought that people in the county had already received their money. They may have through a different grant. However, this grant, from what I understand, has not been released to anybody yet per them. So just to clarify that for anybody that's listening.
I know, Chief, our police department has not gotten their money yet.
Right.
I was just talking to Chief Hager last week about it, and we get X amount of dollars, but they haven't received
Right.
theirs either.
It seems like they have, they outkicked their coverage for a little bit, so now they're trying to backtrack and figure all the little inner workings of it. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting from the emails from the state. So stay tuned for that. The Adams Board, I've been visiting with Crossroads and Joe Parkin over there. He's been a nice resource. We have that wellness grant for $11,200. That's got to be spent by the end of 2024. So we're looking at apps and things for our people, and I'll probably reach out to the unions to see what they want to kind of do with it, because in the end, it's their money, and I want to make it something that's, not wasteful. It's something that's useful for them for the next, year and a half for their health and wellness and things of that nature. So with that being said, I believe I'm done with my chief's report. If you guys have any questions, I'd field them at this time.
Chief?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. The graph is now really meaningful.
Excellent.
But unfortunately, our call volume continues to go up.
Correct.
Are we getting a lot of calls from the nursing facilities? I mean, we were all
Correct.
along.
Yeah, we continue to get calls from them. I did the trend from last year, and it's about on the same pace. We do have the urgent care opening up. I did talk to Lieutenant Sample earlier, and right now the goal is to kind of fill out our calendar. We're running a lot with 5 and 6 people, where we can handle 8 during the day. We just need to fill those spots. And yeah, it's not just us, it's everywhere, it's the whole county. And unfortunately, we have a large number of nursing homes and facilities in town here, so that's a constant talking point in our officers' meetings. So, yeah, we're open for any solutions. We're trying to manage them ourselves. So, and we're using the Job and Family Adult Protective when needed, when people are high users of our service. And then the Council on Aging too is very, very helpful with that resource as well. So it's a work in progress.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Chief, I agree with Mr. Lee that graph is very telling. I know when I had talked to Chief Baker, I don't know, it was earlier this year, late last year, a lot of our calls are like people falling and needing, help getting up, or they fell and hurt themselves. A lot of senior citizens, is that still, are we still seeing that trend, a lot of people slip and fall type of accidents? Or?
Yeah, I mean, that's falls, chest pain, difficulty breathing, those are probably our top 3 medical requests, for sure.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for the chief?
I just had a question. Would that $11,000 be eligible that we could just hire a contractor to finish the work at the barn? Rather than putting the extra pressure on staff to get it done if we're already
Right.
shorthanded?
I will look into that.
If it's health and wellness,
I asked about tangible or durable goods and doing it that way. I can look into that. A lot of it was for just like
mental health services.
like services, like yoga, like check-ins, mental health stuff. So it's a very, like I said, I'm working with Joe Parkin on some of the details, and I'm trying to get options for our folks to maybe, and I'd like to just let them kind of pick it as well. I just don't want to throw it out there. It's something that nobody's going to use and just be wasteful with it. So we're still working through the details. But to my knowledge, right now, I even mentioned, like, can we, we have the sauna up here. Can we put it towards something, some of the stuff inside the gym? And I believe it was the answer was no as of the other day when I met with them. So I had said, well, give me a list then. So I just don't want to throw it into some program that 1 or 2 people are going to use. I want a majority of the group here in Madison to use it and have it be a benefit.
Makes sense.
Okay.
But I will look into it further for you, Mr. Donaldson.
Chairman, so you know, Chief and I are gonna meet on October 22nd to start, to have a preliminary budget for 2024. So we can present that in November.
Okay, great. Okay. Any other questions for Chief Meister? Okay, thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
Next, we have closing public portion. Again, we have no public here, unless you have something for us, Brian. Okay. Okay, with that, closing board comments. Any board members have any comments? Okay. Well, that takes us to, last thing on the agenda, there's a request for an executive session, personnel compensation per Ohio Revised Code, section 121.22G1. With that, I will need a motion to convene into executive session. So moved. Motion by Mr. Donaldson. Do I have a second? By Mr. Anderson. Roll call.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson? Mr. Wayman?
Yes.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Gontner?
Yes. And we will convene an executive session, and the time is 7:35. Okay. Alrighty, we are back out of executive session. And there's no further business at this point to discuss unless somebody has something they want to bring up. If not, I will entertain a motion, and we're out of executive session. It is 7:50, by the way. So with that, do I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Anderson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Lee. Roll call.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gautner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Mr. Donaldson.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
All right, meeting's adjourned at 7:51. Thank you all.
Okay.
A second to discuss your email to me about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some cake.
not in here.
Yeah.
Looks good. Where'd the cake and stuff come from? Wow.
Right.
Not Domino's?